Sports Network. We love sports.
And Betts is back. We don't need an intro. We just bring him right on. Cory Dickman is here. A little bit of peacocking already today. And really, I said, Cory, don't hide from last week. He said, oh, there's no hiding.
There's no hiding. You know, I told last week we had a little dip, right? We admitted that, or 2 weeks ago we admitted that. You know, and I come back because I said, Pete, it's an up and down game. Okay, the sports betting world, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. And I showed up last time. We went through the losses. Well, this time we get to go through the wins. So are you ready?
Let me hear. I know UCLA came through again.
We're going to end with them. They're our team. Georgia plus 4.5. They were, that looked like comfortable. Then UT started to kind of creep back a little bit. Got what within 8. I think that might have been the closest. They got 23. 15-point
spread.
And then Georgia just ran away with it. So that was comfortable. We weren't sweating that at all. And then I got to do the voice. My boy, Avery Johnson, quarterback of Kansas State, the slaughter. That I told you, 2.5, minus 2.5.
The guy, by the way, he was playing with a hurt hip. And so people thought that they were going to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And he just threw the whole game.
He just threw the whole game. Man.
300 yards, 298 yards.
Poor West Virginia, the Mountaineers, they're still reeling from that loss. And then our team, the Fighting Bruins of UCLA. Do you know how the chant goes, Pete?
I'll do it real quick. I'm sure you're going to tell us about your visit.
UCLA, UCLA, let's go Bears. That's what they chant. I've been to many NCAA tournament games with UCLA there. I have it memorized. They go to Rutgers. And Pete, did they cover? Yes. Did they win? They won. These guys, that's all they do is
good
cover.
For Deshaun Foster. I'm pumped.
Huge, dude.
Yeah.
I would have picked them this week, except they are on a bye. So it's okay, which maybe that doesn't bode well for us. But so college, we're 3-0 last week. We're 9-6 on the season. We're above, we're at that 60% mark.
So this is your week where you can separate. Tell me about
this
NFL
has to
first.
Be, dude, this is Separation Sunday right here. Isn't that a term?
Yeah, well, it's a
Selection Sunday. Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. So we're gonna separate. But before we pick this week, we got to talk about the NFL. It wasn't quite as good, but we went 2-1. We hit the mortgage bet, so you paid your mortgage, which is good. Cincinnati, remember we had them at -1, a 2-team teaser along with the Seahawks plus 7.5. The Bengals won by a touchdown over the poor Browns, and then the Seahawks won that game outright against the Falcons. Like went -7. You could have made some serious money on that game, but so we covered the tees, which was great. Detroit, we had the money line. I'm not going to sit here and just brag. That was a close game, although the Vikings had to come back and actually were leading there at the end, and then Detroit wins it on a field goal. So we had the money line.
A win is a win is a win.
A win is a win. And then just that weird Texans-Packers game. I'm off taking the over on the Packers games. The Packers put up 24 points, which I said they'll get close to 30, but the Texans scored 22, so it was 46 combined. We needed 48. So we lost it by 2 stinking points. So that was our one NFL loss. So 2-1 in the NFL, 3-0 in college. I'll have to get the NFL record. I'll tell you next week because I just am so excited about college. So, but that was last week, Pete. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Good bounce back.
Yeah.
Okay. So Separation Friday. That's what this is going to be called. Separation Friday. Okay. Ready? We're going to start with college. USC. So not UCLA, but the Trojans. The Fighting Trojans? Is that what they're called? No?
No, I don't think so.
They're not the Fighting Trojans.
Yeah. Fight on Trojans.
They're just the Trojans.
Fight on USC.
Have you been to that campus? You been there?
I know it's in a bad neighborhood.
It's in a sketchy neighborhood. I toured it. I thought I was going to go to college there. The campus is beautiful, right?
Yeah,
and
the
then
Coliseum's rough.
Oh, yeah. You leave go out the gates and onto the road.
But I'll tell you real quick, I'm dying to go there because there's so much history there. I got to see it.
Dude, it's incredible. Growing up on the West Coast, we weren't USC fans. Obviously, I grew up in Oregon, but it's still, you had to kind of respect the institution. They got Rutgers traveling to USC. So a little connection from last week ish. USC minus 13.5. We love the 13. If you can get the plus 6.5, minus 13.5, minus 2.5. We love those. USC minus 13.5 against a Rutgers team who's reeling from a loss against UCLA, traveling to USC. USC is going to cover.
Yes.
They're going to win this game. They're going to cover 14 or more points. easy peasy, Pete. That's going to be a win right there. And then we had to pick this game. Notre Dame going to the midshipmen of Navy, Pete.
Undefeated Navy team.
Undefeated 6-0. You're giving Navy 12.5 points against a Notre Dame team that I don't think has the step on the throat.
Lost to Northern Illinois.
It was like a gross game. It was like 16-14 or something like that. Give me Navy in the points, Pete. I think this is the military's year. Army, Navy, Air Force.
I got one for you.
Hit me.
What about the money line on that game? That might be nice to have some fun.
Oh, you want me to look that up just real quick? Like the money line for the midshipmen, Navy, and shout out to Jared, my best friend Jared, his Uncle Bud. If you're listening, he's a Navy guy. Plus 360. So you get $100 in, you get $360 out. That's not too bad. I mean, for the sake of my record, I can't.
I don't want you to do that.
Okay,
but I may flush my own.
But you're kind of leaning that way, maybe.
I think that's first of all. This is how I lose, because it's fun and exciting.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want Navy to win at home over Notre Dame? And they're 6-0.
They're 6-0.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So give me that plus 12.5. This one I was a little shaky on, but I feel like this is how it's going to play out. Florida State, did you know they got demoted? They're now a Division II school. Did you hear about that? Crazy. No. Florida State traveling to Miami. There's a ton of Miami just gets all the Florida recruits. These Florida State, there's probably going to be 9 players that transfer after this game because Miami, Pete, they're minus 20.5. They're going to lay the smack. This is the rock, the smackdown on their candy ass. This is what's happening. 20.5. Miami, I get it. Should have lost to Cal. Last week they skate by. This week they're gonna blow out Florida State because this is a state thing. Florida State probably over the last 10 years, 15 years, really would say they've been the better program overall than Miami during that time, right? So now this is payback time. Miami's gonna slaughter them.
It's a recruiting opportunity.
A huge recruiting opportunity. Yeah. You've seen those videos, man, where they'll go to the student section or the recruits where they're at the game and they're like, come to Miami, come to Miami. Yeah. This is gonna be all of that in a bag of chips. Give me Miami minus 20.5. Again, we like the 20.5 because it's 21 points. We still cover there. So Miami. All right. Florida State, Pete, they're a corpse.
Well, they're in free fall too. And I think what you get there is the possibility that guys will take their foot off the gas and kind of quit on Mike Norvell, which is
it's a bummer, man. You never want to see that. But sorry, Paul Catalina, who's a friend of the show here. That's just
they're not Florida State fan.
He went to Florida State.
Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah, man. Paul Catalina, he could tell you some tell you some Florida State stories if you want to hear.
Oh, I think I'd like that, actually.
All right, you ready? That's the college. That's going to be our 3-0 slate. We're going to get to 12-6 after this. That's the bet. Okay. All right, you ready? NFL?
I think everybody's always ready for the
Okay, I gotta channel my inner Pete here. I got my Philly hat on. I'm not picking Philly in this, but I'll wear the hat. The Lions, they did us. They did us well. They got the money line win. Well, actually, hold on.
The Lions. This is a 12 p.m. game at Fox.
Well, hold on. Can we go back to that? Can we go back to that? My apologies. Okay. I want to start Baltimore at Cleveland.
Okay.
Over 44.5. Okay. Baltimore still has Lamar. They still have Derrick Henry. They got receivers-ish on the team. And Cleveland, you know who's starting? You know who they're putting in this week, Pete?
Yeah, John, what's his face?
Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
The pride of Florida State.
Yeah.
Jameis is going to sling the ball, Pete. 44.5 is way too low.
Okay.
We're taking the over on that.
Jameis, I think, is speaking of 40. I think he's one of the only 40-40 quarterback or 30-30, 30 interceptions, 30 touchdowns.
He probably is, yeah. The man has a 5,000-yard season under his belt. It doesn't matter who's out there for Cleveland. I know they traded Cooper. They got Chubb back. They're going to put some points up.
He will put points up. That's a really good point.
All Cleveland's got to do here is score like 19 points, and I think Baltimore will do the rest. So over 44.5 feels like a slam dunk. And then this game just lost a little bit of luster, this next one. Bears at Commanders. This would have been Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels. I don't think Jaden is going to play. They're 5-2. They're not going to put their rookie quarterback out there with a weird rib injury. No. I could be wrong. Maybe he will play. But as far as the
when
spread,
is this game?
This game is at 3:25 Central Time.
Got it.
So afternoon slot
in DC.
In
Maryland.
DC. Yeah. Give me again the over here. My theme of these is backup quarterbacks. They're not getting love. Marcus Mariota, shout out to Oregon. He played really well last week in the taking over for Jaden Daniels after he got hurt. He came 2 touchdowns, like 200 yards. Like Marcus played a really good game.
Yeah.
I think he can still keep this Commander offense humming. And Chicago can score points too. Neither of these two defenses are.
So we're going over again?
Oh, we're going over. I'm sorry. 43.5. This is obvious over here. Give me Bears 28-25. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's going to go over. So I
like the Commanders winning the game, but
the Commander, and they could. It's a home game. We'll see. But both these teams, I think, would be considered surprises right now, right?
For sure. Yes.
So over 43.5 on that game. So those are the 2 NFL games that we're picking. We're both going the theme today, Pete, right? It was overs with the backup quarterbacks, Jameis and Marcus.
Okay.
All right. Now you got to pay your mortgage. Okay. We're good right now. Everybody, they called their bankers last week. They had the money to pay their house note, which was great. We're going to do it again this week. At the top, I kind of spoiled it. I said Detroit. We're going to pick Detroit in this. I'm sorry, Mike Hamilton is our guy here. His team, the Titans, are laying 11.5. Oh, that is not nice. Not pretty.
No.
We're going to take the Lions here, but we're going to tease it down, Pete, right? Remember,
this is where
the mortgages are a 2-team teaser.
This is where we get in trouble.
This is where we make money, not get in trouble.
Okay.
-7. We get the Lions at -7 here. So in case there's a little hiccup here, ties are never any fun, but we could push on this. But -7, give us the Lions at -7. And then we're going to pair this with Giants heading to Steelers.
Okay.
I think the Steelers feel like a renewed team right now with my old love interest, Russell Wilson. Led me to a Super Bowl. Should have been a second
Monday
one.
night.
Yeah, should have been 2. I don't know why we didn't run the ball.
Yeah.
Cam Stewart's in here, and he's probably happy about that. I would say Russ guides the ship here. The Steelers are favored by 6.5 points against the lowly Giants. This is at home in Pittsburgh. Now we get them at -2.
By the way,
goal.
the line I'm looking at right now is they're -6. So
-6. So now 1.5.
Yeah.
-1.5.
Yeah.
The kicker for Pittsburgh, Boswell, he's on like 3 of my fantasy teams. This guy's like my MVP. So they're going to win this game by a field goal. Give me Pittsburgh -1.5 because the updated line in the teaser. So Detroit -7, Pittsburgh -1.5. Come on, man.
By the way, what about the over-under in that game? Is 36.5.
It's 36.5.
Wow.
I can't, man. Pitt,
No,
I think I picked the under for Pitt, like 2 weeks ago against the Raiders, and they scored.
It's 36.5 for a reason.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I have a bonus for you.
Let's go.
Okay, but this is what I call a keep me accountable bet.
Okay.
Because this is an NBA bet for tonight.
Oh boy.
So we're recording this on a Thursday.
Yes.
So you're going to hear this.
Okay.
After
This is the accountability bet.
This is the accountability bet. And I own it. I'm coming. And we'll bring it up. Okay. Right. Celtics tonight against the Wizards. Minus what do you think it would be, Pete? If we did guess the lines, what do you think that line should be?
I was looking it up.
Don't look.
I didn't look. Nope.
Okay. Celtics at Washington. The Washington Wizards. Just throw it out.
Celtics -4.
-4?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna think I'm crazy then. It's -14.
Wow.
Pete, the Wizards are terrible.
But how can they suck so bad so quickly? I mean, really?
Look at their roster. They already are I've seen the Cooper Flag jerseys. Because I have one for Portland already.
Yeah.
So I know Washington wants one too. So -14. The Celtics, all they do is blow people out.
Yeah.
14 is cakewalk. I think this is a no-brainer. Celtics -14. Okay. And then I'm just picking all the people in the room right now. The Spurs traveling to the Mavericks tonight, the bitter rivalry. What would you think the spread is? What's the line?
Spurs at Mavs.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Mavs -7.5.
Okay. You're cooking. They're -8.5.
Okay.
Give me Spurs +8.5. Give me Wemby. Give me Vassell. Give me my boy Zach Collins. They're going to come out. Chris Paul, he's going to orchestrate. I would take the win here. I would go money line Spurs. But we're going to, for the sake of the record here, 8.5. Give me Spurs +8.5. Okay?
Will you bet on these games for real?
Oh, I will bet on these games for real. I have to work through a friend, but yes, I'll bet on these games for real. Sacramento. We got
October basketball. That is great.
There may have been some bets last night. It was the slam dunk bet
Yeah.
of the opening night last night,
Yeah.
and I know I can show the receipts. 2-team teaser. It was the Suns. They were -5. They were favored by 5 against the Clippers. The Clippers are terrible.
Yeah.
Like, they're not good. So I had the Suns minus like a point and a half or half a point. So they just had to win the game against the Clippers. And then the Blazers, they were +7.5 against Golden State. We're like, us as a community in Rip City, we need to go 0-82. We have no business winning any game. So that was the easiest tease. Got the Golden State Warriors at -2.5 there. I won't disclose how much I put on it, but easy win. Although the Suns game did go to overtime, but they did end up winning.
I love how you're not telling us. So as far as I'm concerned, it was either $5 or $1 million.
It was more than 5. It was a little stressful. It was a little stressful last night. My wife had to go to bed because I was stressing her out. So, but anyway, okay. So back to this real quick. Minnesota at Sacramento. Sacramento +1.
So we're still going?
Oh, this is tonight. This is my check. This is my check. So Sacramento +1. They're going to get the home win tonight against Minnesota. Minnesota, I don't think will figure themselves out until 20 games in.
All right.
I think the Karl Anthony Towns deal is a bigger thing than everybody makes it out to be.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to have some speed bumps. And then the last one, OKC travels to Denver. Oklahoma City, what do you think the spread is on this one, Pete? Who's favored? OKC at Denver.
Denver -1.5.
Oh, you're okay. We need to do this every week. They're -2.
Okay.
I think OKC comes in and gets the win. I think OKC is going to lay the smackdown this year. Denver just feels like a team reeling. I get Jokic. I understand. But I think Oklahoma City now has the bigs to deal with Jokic. They come and get the W tonight in Denver. So I got them at +2. So the quick recap so we can keep track and how I do. Boston -14. Spurs +8.5, Sacramento +1, OKC +2. And let's just see. Let's see how it goes. Because as you're listening to this, you can go check your ESPN app and either be like, dang, Cory knows what he's talking about, or be like, wow, don't listen to that guy anymore.
I would like to think that the guy betting on 4 NBA games in the later stages of October either knows what he's doing or we're putting him in a car to go someplace for treatment. So let's hope that you know what you're doing.
I have a great support team from our Blazers Edge staff. We're all Blazers guys, but we have a great crew that's.
Well, I was about to say it probably means a lot for you guys if the Blazers do. I guess maybe even if you're in free fall for the number 1 pick, that might be better.
Oh, it has to be better.
Yeah.
The people in Portland, they don't, from a basketball perspective, most of them just love being like the 7 seed and just us losing in the first round. Yeah. There's too many Portland people, Oregonians, that enjoy that, and we're done. We can't be that team anymore. We have to either tank, get the best players, and then go contend, or just contend. But this whole middle ground thing, and so these last 2 seasons have been hard, I think, for Trailblazers fans, because the goal has been to lose.
Yeah.
And I know that sucks. Last night, I will say, and I do a Blazers podcast called Rip City Roundtable.
Yeah,
podcast.
I saw. Yeah.
And I will say last night, our opening night, was pathetic. The effort shown against the Warriors was sad.
So there's an effort problem.
It was, we need to lose games. And
who's your coach?
Chauncey Billups.
Oh gosh, that's right.
Billups, Chauncey Billups. And we're not a winning organization at all, or a winning team under Chauncey, but it was pathetic. It was like, I threw the iPad a few times. And I want to lose, but not like that.
Yeah.
I mean, just loose balls, like not cherry picking. The Golden State Warriors were just making us look foolish, and they're not even that good. Like this is not the Warriors team of 2017, 2018, 2019. This is not that team.
Well, when you're talking about effort, that's issues.
Oh, it's
early
bad.
In the season like this.
We're in the Blazers. We're the youngest team in the NBA. The effort should never be. These guys should be running around like chickens with their head cut. And it was just like, we're just gonna let them get that loose ball and lay it up uncontested. It was just sickening.
All right, so we've covered it all. NFL.
We've covered it all.
NBA.
Sorry, this is a long one today.
Cory Dickman. Hey, honestly, I'm captivated with your passion for early season NBA bets. All right, Cory Dickman, all in bets, accountability bets, everything's in. We're going to talk to you next Friday. We're going to rehash it all. But in the meantime, if you want to win some money, go ahead, get in with Cory. We'll be right back. The Pete Sousa Show, powered by the Rogue Media Network.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.